Hello and welcome to the North Bank podcast. It is Sunday afternoon in the UK, about 3 o'clock, less than 24 hours after a memorable, dramatic and euphoric late win against Everton. I've barely calmed down. My head is still somewhere around Mars, making its way very slowly back down to Earth. I'm joined by Stef. Hi, Stef.
Hello.
Your head back with... No,
Who knows where it is?
Well, look, we're going to look back at yesterday, reflect on yesterday's performance and results and the City game, and we'll look ahead briefly to the Leverkusen game on Tuesday. As has become the norm, I've come up with some questions, and I started off seriously. I started off with a serious question, and the first question I came up with was, does it matter that we're not playing particularly well or particularly fluent in our attacking play, yet still winning? Does it matter at this stage in the season? And then I just could not be bothered thinking of any more serious questions. So the other questions I came up with were, does Dowman's goal count as a set-piece goal, being as it came from an Everton corner? How old should someone be before you get a tattoo of them? I'm asking for a friend. How many times have you rewatched that Dowman goal? I mean, I can't count. Here's a little sub-question on that question. How many foreign commentaries have you watched of that goal? And I must doff my cap to the Argentinian one. If you haven't listened to it, find the Argentinian one. There is singing involved, and it is Arsenal-related singing in Spanish, presumably, but I have no idea. But it is absolutely fantastic. And the final question, it's a bit of a naughty question, was, can we win the league at the Etihad? Is there any way that we can win the league at the Etihad? And the answer may surprise you, but I will revisit that at some point later on. Anyway, Stef.
Hello.
How are you after an exciting game, evening, night?
Tired, relieved, joyful, ecstatic, slightly
bewildered.
I don't know, because football is just this amazing thing. Because if the game had stopped at 88 minutes, it would have been pure frustration and angst and worry, concern, and all the negatives without, being full on angry or anything like that, because it wasn't great. And then the ending, the ecstasy and the relief and the joy, the explosion of sound and the hugging of strangers and the not ending up in the seat where I normally sit.
Steph, block
seat,
even.
Who knows what sort of happened in those sort of moments, that it was so worth it. It's the moments we live for. It's I don't take for granted one moment the privilege of actually being there, knowing that, there's millions of fans around the world who follow Arsenal very closely and don't go to the Emirates, but to have been there. Wow.
It is one of the Emirates moments, the Dowman goal.
It's up there.
Which we will come back to. Michael, who takes my seats for the Champions League games, he sent me a gif of, I don't know, is it Rowan Atkinson as Mr. Bean or Rowan Atkinson as Johnny English? I think it's Mr. Bean, but he's on the beach and he's like just arms in the air and he's soaking up the I don't know, the warm weather atmosphere. And I just replied, very similar to what you've just alluded to, how different was everyone feeling at about 88 minutes yesterday? It is absolutely mental how football can change your world so dramatically, so quickly. Like this thing that we have absolutely zero control over, and yet it can make you feel in a way that, well, precious little else can, and extremes of emotion.
Yeah,
like even at 1-0. It wasn't joy, I can tell you that. It was sheer panic and fear, and sprinkled with moments of euphoria, and then instant realization again. No, don't. And then there's the throw in, long throw, and then the corner, and then Oh, dearie
Well,
me.
just to demonstrate the kind of the fickle whiplash that football fans get, for the majority of the game, people around us especially, I found it quite amusing because I don't think either team time wasted at all, to be honest. It was like a normal game.
Yeah.
But obviously once or twice, as we did, but Pickford would do that thing where he's going to take it and then the centre back will take the goal kick or whatever, and there's people around us going, come on, hurry up, and that's going on all the time. And as the nerves are building, that kind of vociferousness and the angst about that is getting bigger and bigger. We take the lead, and in a period after that, we get a corner, and those same people who were telling to Pickford to hurry up are now going to Martinelli, who's coming over to take the corner. Slow it down, take your time.
To which he obliges by kicking the ball away and then misplacing it outside the quadrant.
It was so
brilliant.
Silly and stupid because we just turn on a sixpence. It's amazing.
Can I apologise for our instant reaction, please? Because that I didn't really know what I was saying. I had to listen to it again in the car on the way home to see what I said, and then I thought I'd better apologise for that tomorrow. It really didn't make much sense at all. Chris, who obviously edited a couple of bits out as well. Thank you, Chris, for that. But look, it wasn't all joy and raptures, as you know, and it's a case of. What did you call it? Not confirmation bias, the other one? Outcome bias.
Outcome bias.
Yeah. So we've had a few little conversations today with various people across the social media platforms and who weren't actually at the game. And their sense was that we actually played quite well. My sense in the ground was that up until the 74th, 75th minute, we did not play well in an attacking sense. Defensively and in midfield, I thought we were okay. But still, we still conceded some really glaring opportunities. I mean, if the XG, I think our XG without the 2 goals, which seems a bit daft, but was like 0.8. Everton's was 1 point something. So we had lots of shots, but they didn't create any clear gilt-edged chances that you would say. Whereas Everton had Calafiori, I mean, we didn't realise it at the time, but Calafiori's block was just mental. Yeah. And the desire to not let that ball nestle in the back of the net is clear for all to see. And that just must transmit throughout the entire team and also the opponents as well, thinking, we're going to have to really earn this. If we get a goal, we're going to earn every goal we get. And then they hit, actually from that passage of play, Calafiori's block, McNeil went again. He ghosted past Declan Rice like he wasn't there, which was a bit of a concern. And he curled a beautiful shot that cannoned off the post and hit, I don't know who, Ndiaye, and just went the wrong side of the post. The linesman's flag went up. But if you watch that again, it would have. If the rebound had gone in, it would have stood because he was onside. So we actually got away with it. Yeah, we actually got away with it. You got away with a big one there, and Raya had a couple of other saves in the second. One in the second half in front of us, which is kind of a more run of the mill. But in the first half, down the other end, when it hit his, I think he's got his left leg down at the foot of the post to clear a shot away. No, sorry, that would have been the second half. Sorry, second half. Yeah. And the other one was in the first half in front of us. But I can't think of any. Saka had a header that was very well saved by Pickford, but he was offside. And then we had a couple of half chances. So people watching on the telly, I mean, they name check players who played well, like David Raya and Gabriel and Calafiori and Hincapie and Rice. I agree, they did play well, but our issue was offensively, in an attacking sense, we were pretty impotent. I would have said that was my sense, and the crowd stayed on side. Like the crowd, it was excellent. So there was no tension. I thought we started the game okay, and we created some half chances. But you made the comment after 20 minutes that this was exactly what happened in the Leverkusen away game, and then it all turned. It became very tense, and we went a goal down and so on. I think that didn't happen yesterday. What's your sense on the idea that we actually played very well?
Yeah, it's not one I can really agree with because there was too big a patch in the game where, like you say, maybe we did play well, apart from in that final third. I was getting quite frustrated with our offensive play. You can't fault the defence. Raya was proactive. That shot you were talking about when Calafiori made the block, you said at the time that actually if Raya leaves it, Calafiori deals with it. But at the same time, he
doesn't know that. Yeah,
he doesn't know that. They haven't communicated that, and I'd rather my keeper maybe be proactive in that sense. It's interesting that later on, obviously, Pickford has gone to be proactive, but has completely misjudged it. So maybe those are just the differences in the levels, and it's worked in our favour this time. But yeah, after a couple of scares, it was slightly flat and disappointing going forward. Can't fault the defence. One thing that was noted, so George, he gives me a lift to go and get on the supporters bus from Norfolk and came with us. He's in the clock end. That's where his ticket is. And he was saying it was interesting, especially in that first half with the Dwight McNeil shot that hit the post, for example, and those sorts of things. He said it felt like it was almost like a tactic, because I was saying when we were having our chat on the way home, it's almost like we were like too open and there was too much space, and I don't understand why. He says it was weird watching it like straight down the pitch from the other end, because we're obviously off to one side in the North Bank. He said it's almost like it was by design. Like it felt like we kind of opened up in that area. So if Everton were in that bit just outside the penalty area, kind of centrally, we were kind of like going, well, if you want to have a go, have a go. But it's like obviously a low XG effort kind of thing, and that's probably why we have conceded a few. The Man United game obviously comes to mind, whereas otherwise, once you get to the sort of penalty box, we absolutely lock it down. So it was interesting that maybe from a defensive point of view, that is a tactic in itself, because Rice likes to drift wide, Eze likes to drift wide, and they make those triangles and those relationships to kind of build up through the wings. That said, the thing that disappointed me most, and we saw it in the view that we've got looking down the touchline where the benches are, it felt like Arsenal, horseshoe of death, fine, but it felt like there was a concerted effort. A couple of players, so Hincapie definitely looked for it, Calafiori at different times, Eze as well. What they were looking to do, they didn't really want to pass to the player who was on the wing, so that was Martinelli on one side or Saka on the other. What they wanted to happen was Martinelli or Saka to dart inside and play the ball inside the fullback.
But for the cutback.
Yeah, exactly. But that was so rarely on. We had to mix it up in some ways, because then all that ended up happening was they'd either turn back and just recycle the ball, centre-backs and midfielders and everything like that, or they would pass it to the winger who's just out on the wing and then has got three people to beat, and they're not going to cross it because Keane and was it O'Brien, I think, the centre-back yesterday, they were pretty good. That's what they want. Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know, it felt like there was just like a plan A and maybe a plan A1, but no real plan B. It was weird.
Well, the plan B would be individual skill.
And where did we get that from?
Yes. Well, we'll come. Let's pause on that for a minute.
Can I read what Chris has sent in?
Yes.
So, hi, Chris. He says, reflections on yesterday. For 89 minutes, it was a perfect example of supposed dominance and control of a game, but Everton could argue that their game plan worked, and they, in fact, controlled the game. Despite countless horseshoes of death, we did craft some openings, but the finishing was generally poor. Opportunities to have a shot were spurned in favour of a short pass or an attempt to thread a near impossible ball through to a more advanced player. That's kind of what I was talking about. Everton showed with their few chances that having a go from range isn't always a bad idea. We needed the hand of Pickford to get us out of this one. Dowman's goal was the cherry on the cake we couldn't have had if Pickford didn't come upfield for their corner at 1-0 down. We take the 3 points gratefully and move on, but such fortuitous wins aren't sustainable. He also says, and Havertz unlucky not to win a penalty. How VAR can dismiss the claim within 3 seconds is beyond me. Defender clearly caught his heel. Why would he go down when through on goal? And I absolutely agree with that. Yeah. I thought the referee was really poor yesterday, and I think it's important that we call that out, because we won, fine, and you could go quiet on that, but that penalty decision, like the one we were lucky to get away with at Everton's ground when Saliba kicked through their striker, those are poor decisions that could have an impact on the outcome of the game. My problem with him during the game was he was very stop-start with the game. Lots of little fouls given for things that were inconsistent. A few shoulder-to-shoulder things which could have been let go.
And that teams were playing on. They weren't. He was like both sides.
Yeah.
He wasn't in favour of one team over another.
No, yeah.
He was just crap generally,
yeah.
and he kept bringing the game back. So we had that last week as well when a referee kept
advantage could have been played and wasn't. And yet, with all the blowing of the whistle and all the little fouls that he gave, no yellow cards. So it's like it was weird. It was like he had a disconnect with the game he was seeing, but the game he was reffing, because you'd think with all those accumulative fouls, someone should have got a yellow card.
But the penalty decision, VAR's got to help him out. I mean,
with that, you can understand. Maybe he doesn't see it. It is it's a stud on the back of his ankle. Fine, he might miss that. That's what VAR's for, no?
Yeah. And that was, I know I heard
Bizarre.
Jamie Redknapp going absolutely mental at half time because of that decision. And again, luckily,
fine.
I'm glad I'm not having the conversation today about, well, we shouldn't have been in a position where a refereeing decision has dictated the outcome in that game. But we were within a couple of minutes of having that conversation. But not only would it have been a penalty, it's arguable to say it could have been a red card because it wasn't a genuine attempt to get the ball. Like the defender was nowhere near the ball.
But was it a genuine attempt to stand on the back of his foot? I'm not sure on that one. But he's through on goal.
But that's what he did.
It's the dog-so thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's no other reason for Havertz to fall over there. He's going to get a shot away. Right, I agree pretty much with everything that Chris said. I wanted to pick up on his the latter comment there. These kind of wins, and it ties in with my first question, which was, does it matter that we're not playing well, in an attacking sense? He says it's not sustainable. But #7 to go. It only needs to be sustainable for another 5 games. We're not talking about a whole season. Remember, Liverpool started the season in a similar fashion, where they were getting lots of late wins. Now, we had our wobble. The 1-1 draw away at Brentford, the 2-2 draw away at Wolves. And since then, we have one at Spurs 4-1, one at home against Chelsea 2-1, one away at Brighton 1-0, and one yesterday 2-0 at home to Everton in the league. I'm talking about league games. We've won 4 in a row, which is fantastic. Now, apart from the Spurs game, although with context, North London derby away, fierce rivals, first game, new manager, the context could have gone another way. I mean, the ingredients were in place for an upset, but we took care of that, 4-1. The Chelsea game, that last 10 minutes of the Chelsea game were among the worst 10 minutes, the most painful and excruciating 10 minutes of the season so far. Yeah. Only bettered by the last 10 minutes in the next game away at Brighton. Obviously compounded by the fact that City were also struggling in their game which kicked off at the same time. And then yesterday, for 88 minutes, it was doom and gloom that we're dropping 2 points in this game. How can this be? And Everton were good value for a draw. And I'm like, that, and I think David Moyes can take a lot of credit in his pre-match comments and his post-match comments as well. I think he said it was cruel. The way they lost that game, and he's absolutely right, and I have every sympathy for it. And he also said that Raya was the busier of the 2 goalkeepers, and he absolutely was, and that's fine. But again, so this is 3 wins in a row that it has been hard slog. Now, does it matter at this time of the season?
No, and it's interesting because on the way down on the coach, I was saying, don't care how we play today, just want the 3 points. And although now I'm thinking, yes, good, we got the 3 points, but ultimately, I don't know. It's 5 games is a lot for it to be that close for a long time. That said, what's been encouraging the last 2 games is I felt that we've at least attempted to start the games in a positive way. The opening period against Leverkusen, I know that was in the Champions League, but still. And the opening period yesterday, I'd say first 15, 20 minutes, we were looking to be positive and on the front foot. The disappointing thing was just the fact that we hadn't really troubled Pickford too much, and we hadn't created the kind of chances that we were really missing. In Leverkusen, we only really created the one, which was the Martinelli one, where he hit the bar. So, but you could see that the team were trying to make things happen. It was only then disappointing when after that period where you do ease off a little bit. You have to sort of conserve your energy to some extent, and that's when it started to become a bit flat, bit repetitive. So maybe they're trying, and it will come and click in another game, and then we can build some momentum from there. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Not to, and be a revisionist or anything, or after the facts. I did say to you during the game, early in the game, do we really need both Rice and Zubimendi in this team? Because I'm trying to look for, because Saka was poor. He tried in the first half, but he was tripled up on. You could see that he had very little support there. Havertz wasn't providing that kind of connection. Eze was playing more to the left a little bit, it looked like. And so he was isolated a little bit, but he didn't play particularly well. Madueke was okay on the left. Eze, I thought, had an okay game, to be fair. And the substitution that I would have made would have been move Madueke to the right and take Saka off and put Max Dowman through the middle is what I would have done. Only after his performance against Mansfield.
Yeah.
I thought, as I said in a previous pod, if you showed a complete stranger the Arsenal-Mansfield game and didn't say any, and they knew nothing about the ages of any of the players, who's our best player? He'd say, well, Max Dowman. Mm-hmm. And so, ignoring the fact that he's 16. And so I wanted him to come on through and as it turned out, that 74th minute substitution, fair play to Arteta, because Jesus was on the bench as well. He could have done a like for like, and maybe nothing would have happened. But he did try and fair play to Arteta for his starting 11 as well, the front three. He did try and shake things up as well. And so I'm quick to criticise Arteta for not utilising the squad. So it's only fair that I commend him when he does and is proactive in his changes as well. But to take Madueke off, was it Madueke who came off for Dowman? Hincapie came on for Calafiori at that time, yeah. And then Saka came into the middle and was pretty ineffective in the middle as well, because Max Dowman was just having that other creative player there, from that substitution onwards, and I like this expression. I think on Sky Sports they have their Sunday supplement. It used to be like around the table having croissants and orange juice, and it was just like, but 20 years ago. But one of the journalists there, he said he was in the stadium yesterday, and he felt he was also, the last time he was in the stadium, it was in the Arsenal, it was a few games ago, and he said he's noticed. He said it's still a very nervous stadium. He said, but it was different this time. Previously, the nerves were expecting to lose, like fearing the loss. Whereas he felt yesterday it was nerves, but it was but we were expecting to win. Yeah. It was like, come on. And it was very positive, like, and encouraging in the ground. And I just thought that was quite an interesting way of looking at it. And getting these late goals, or holding on late into the game, because the Brighton goal wasn't late. It was like the 9th or 10th minute, whatever it was, that Saka scored that goal. The Chelsea goal wasn't late either. It was holding on. It was like getting a bit too tense against 10 men and so on. Yesterday was scoring the goal late, but I'm hoping that the players themselves will start to feel like there's an inevitability that we will score.
Yeah. Like
there would be if it was Man City of 2 years ago and last year and 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Not last year, sorry. 2 years ago and 3 years ago. Where we just knew, I love the idea of all the City fans and the City players on the 88-minute mark thinking, they're going to drop 2 points and then we're going to beat West Ham 4-0 in an hour. This is fantastic. And then they'd go and do something, or they'd go out into the pitch and warm up, or they'd walk from the coach to the changing rooms, and it's 2-0. Like within minutes, it's 2-0. That crushing sense that we are so familiar with as a fan base. I did like someone else, I don't know who it was, it might have been Lewis Ambrose or someone on Blue Sky, saying that this isn't, the reason the Arsenal fan base is like this isn't, for the Arsenal fan base, this is not a 31 game title run. It's a 152 game title run, because we've been going for the title for 3 years prior to this.
Amazing.
And I thought that was a brilliant way of feeling, and it summed up exactly how I'm feeling. Like, we've so much invested. I mean, I still think there's still a big nightmare scenario that I'm, it's there. It's there.
Of course,
it's like,
that's trauma. That's what
when
trauma
you see
does.
the 9-point lead, all I can think of is, Christ, this will be the biggest bottle job. I'm thinking of the language that other people use. Second again, ole ole. Like I'll have to give up football if we don't win it from this position. It's because I can intellectualize it quite easily. City win their game in hand. They beat us. It's a 3-point game. We haven't exactly been winning the games with ease.
And we've got some tricky games coming
Well,
up.
Bournemouth next up on the 11th of April, bizarrely.
We lost last year.
Yes, well, we drew with Everton last year as well at home, so we're already up. We're up on this little run. But yeah, Bournemouth. I mean, there were mitigating factors about that when it was before the PSG game, wasn't it, or something like that last season, I think. So we've got Bournemouth next, and I'm thinking, all right, all the dangerous players they've got. I mean, Man City then go to Chelsea, but I don't know. I think that, and I fear that, and I mean, I woke up during the week in a cold sweat thinking that City would beat us in the League Cup final, City would beat us in the FA Cup final, City would pip us for the league, and then they'd beat us in the Champions League final. And I think I really would give up on football at that point if that were to happen. The reverse could also happen, although thankfully the Real Madrid result against City helped me sleep a little bit easier at night. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's City. Who would have thought that City would get 2 points from a home game against Forest and an away game at West Ham?
Two teams fighting relegation. So and again, I felt it when I left you in the block where we are and walked up to meet a couple of people as I left. The one thing that dawned on me was all those other people watching, hoping that we would drop points. And that gave me another sort of like wave of like pleasure. And I hate it. I don't like being that fan, but it did make me think.
They are, they are all those fans. So
yeah,
we
exactly.
Are as well.
So
it's just natural.
And like you say, I mean, you've covered a lot of points there, but again, with the team, like you say, I'm glad that Arteta was changing things up. He's got to manage, important games in other competitions coming up. So the fact that he was trying something different, I didn't mind that, with Madueke coming on the left and Havertz starting, which kind of surprised us all. We weren't sure how ready he was. Just on terms of the lateness of the goal as well, it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to anyone out there listening. And I spoke to my mum this morning and she was like, well, I went to bed and it was 0-0. And I thought, oh, they've done it. And then woke up and I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Why did you go to... You must know. You've seen what I've been through all these years. You stay till the end. But yeah, she's probably not as bothered about football as I am. But there we go. And then just... Yeah, the fact that City were losing, two teams who are fighting relegation, and that's the thing. Sometimes it's about when you play teams, and so they're playing Forest, they're playing West Ham when they're fighting for their lives and trying to make things happen. But at the same time, it was interesting the point that you sort of said there about 2 or 3 years ago, we're doing what everyone would have expected City to do and vice versa. Those two games, Forest and West Ham, that City have dropped points in, felt like very Arsenal kind of dropping points in previous years. So there is a difference to that. And all I can come back to is squad depth. Like the one major difference is the fact that because we've got a few players out and not available. Odegaard's gone. Ben White just can't seem to
Trossard's not there yesterday.
Trossard
Marino,
not there yesterday.
obviously.
Norgard not named in the squad. Marino is the long-term sort of absence. These are all quality players, but we do have enough, and we hadn't maybe had that before. You said about the Bournemouth game last year in the run-up to PSG. There were a lot of academy players on the bench that we, hadn't really sort of known about and were never going to really call upon in those sort of key moments.
They were just making up numbers, weren't they?
So Raheem Sterling, the worst loan of Arsenal's history, was in the offing for it as well. So boy, is it transformed in those 12 months, and players that have come in, the likes of Hincapie in particular, I mean, wow, they're doing the business, and it does feel slightly different. But as we were saying before we started recording, it feels closer to the end than maybe it actually is. So
Yeah.
it still no one's getting ahead of themselves. I'm just reveling it. This weekend has been brilliant because it's another game where we won, they dropped points. We've got a wonderful narrative with the 16-year-old goal scorer, and the outcome bias at the end, and the limbs and the noise and all that kind of stuff. So just enjoying that.
Well, let's recap on the little conversation we had before we did start recording. Where yesterday, at one point, I think you leaned over and said, at the end of the game, like Reece Nelson, Bournemouth, that's what it felt like a little bit. So I was a bit surprised when I checked the date of that. That was the 4th of March. And it felt a lot earlier in the season. So that got me a little bit concerned that we're maybe jumping the gun a little bit too soon, because there was no one singing. I didn't hear it anywhere like we're going to win the league or anything like that. I didn't hear any of that because I think we're all far too scarred by recent history to go there. Yeah. And also it's a bit of self-preservation.
Absolutely.
I don't want to think it and believe, like I said, we said before the game, whenever I'm watching a really important Arsenal game, so the cup final next weekend, I will be fine as long as it's 0-0 in terms of nerves. If we go 1-0 up, I will be all over the place, because then then it's the hope kicks in and you've got something to lose. You've got something to hold on to. And it's like, it's not fun.
For you, I'm not sure that everyone feels like that.
I don't know. I think a lot of people feel
I'm
like
sure
that.
a lot of people do, but there's different camps. I'm very edgy on the draw. Once we've got the lead, I can be more bullish. I'm slightly
Oh no,
different.
see, I'm like, oh no, this is going to be worse. It's going to show me what it feels like. Tease me with what it feels like, and then take it away, rip it away.
But I will probably bottom out lower if we were to then lose it. You've almost steeled yourself and prepared yourself with all that angst.
That's all it is. It is kind of mental health management 101 for me, really. What was I? We've gone like well over half an hour. We haven't really talked about Max Dowman, and we're not going to talk about him just yet either, because I just want to. There's a couple of other things that we've talked about, the Havertz penalty thing. I thought Raya was excellent. I thought Calafiori was excellent. I thought the defence was excellent. Hincapie, like, two things he did, but the most important one, and it's just again, he's won the league, so he he knows what it takes to win a league title, and that's impressive, and that, like, he's grown up. I was a bit. What was I? A bit. Not resentful is the wrong word, but when he had that song without having ever played a game for us, I was like,
well, yeah.
There's other players who have earned a song ahead of him. Why is he getting one? Listen, we can sing it till the cows come home now, because he's earned it now. And I think yesterday, it wasn't the tackle that he put out, which was brilliant for the throw-in right at the very end. It was, what the hell was he doing as the furthest attacker when Max Dowman had the ball on the right hand side? Like that, I thought, there's your will.
Yeah.
There's your will to win. I'm not sure we've got another left back who would have been in that position. Calafiori wouldn't, because he'd be wanting to not get on the end of a cross. He'd be wanting to, like, kind of, I don't know, he's just not that kind of. Yeah. And listen, it was the most unorthodox of assists.
It's a family show, so we probably won't go into the body parts that he used to assist Gyokeres with, but fine, they all count.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I mean, so I just want to say, doff my cap to Hincapie for that moment. I thought it was excellent. Gyokeres, not for his goal, and I must admit, I do feel a little bit sorry for him that he scored the most important goal on the night.
Yeah.
Okay, because as Chris alluded to, Dowman's goal isn't happening if Gyokeres hasn't put us 1-0 up. And that goal Gyokeres scored was exactly the goal we bought him for. But it was his header defending that corner in the 97th minute that went up in the air, that then Martinelli got probably the most... I don't know. He gets an assist for that, Martinelli, which is quite funny. Dowman had a little bit to do after that. But it was that Gyokeres header at the near post. He flung himself. He was getting nobody else. And I thought that was more important, not more important than the goal, but of equal significance even, perhaps, was that. Because we were terrified of an equaliser there because there's no coming back from that, and there's your 2 points dropped. Any other players stand out for you?
Well, I just want to pick up on what you said there. I know you said about the Martinelli assist is a bit of a ridiculous one for because of what Dowman went on to do, but I didn't notice it at the time because obviously, we were on bloody Mars. But loads of people have pointed out and are showing the clips that when Dowman is running through on goal, Martinelli goes to block the Everton player so that he definitely won't get to him. Exactly, it's absolutely brilliant. Martinelli is such a selfless, likeable player.
Yes.
We know his output can be quite frustrating, and it's a bit patchy at times and all that kind of stuff as well, but there's just no doubting like the way he serves the team and the squad and just being available. Like, I love him. Just brilliant. The way he's gone to try and block and make sure that no one can get on the end of it, and he won that header. I'm not sure how much he knew about getting it to Dowman, but the fact that he did was just great. And like you say, even Gyokeres has won the title in Portugal. These are players who know that. Yeah,
so we do have winners. Yeah,
from the first minute to the last, you've got to be switched on. You've got to be committed, and you've got to sort of be stubborn. And that's one thing that we definitely are. Yeah. Just
on Gyokeres, so the header, and obviously been in the right place. Like probably the easiest goal he'll score, but probably one of the more important ones as well. He's just on him. He scored more league goals than Isak, Salah and Wirtz combined.
Lovely.
Now, if you'd heard that, if I told you that would be the case at the start of the season, you'd have thought he must have got about 50 goals by this point. So, it's not damning with faint praise. That's his 16th goal of the season, and he's on his. I said 20, and he's on par for 20. I don't think he did much else in the game, but I tell you what,
didn't have to.
A defensive clearance like that, leading to a second goal after having scored the first goal as a substitute, you take that all day long. And I just want to mention David Raya. That was his 15th clean sheet of the season. He's 4 ahead of Donnarumma. And when you see Donnarumma, you see the goal that City conceded yesterday, and Wenger's done it again, obviously, Mavropanos. That was when I heard it was Mavropanos who scored, because I was driving home and I deliberately said to my daughter, do not put the radio on. I don't want to know what's happening in the City game at all. I'm happy feeling like the glow and the elation still of the Arsenal win. I don't want anything to puncture that. What's happening at the West Ham Stadium is happening. Whether I know about it or not, it's happening. Yeah. So, and then it was... I think it was Chris put on the WhatsApp group just that little message. It's the draws that kill you or something like that. And I was like, no, that means City have drawn. And then when I found out who scored, I thought, oh, that is bloody hilarious. That Mavropanos. But then I saw the goal, and Donnarumma came and just flapped at it.
Yep.
And so good. So David Raya is looking like he's going to pick up the 3rd Golden Gloves, because even if he doesn't keep another clean sheet, it's unlikely that someone's going to pick up, or Donnarumma even is going to pick up 5 clean sheets from his last 8 games. I mean, he might do, but I bloody well hope not. And we come on to Dowman. Now, 22 goals scored by subs. It's the most in our history this season. And I mean, I said it in the instant reaction. Hyperbole, perhaps, but I don't think so. Even at 24 hours later, he changed the game.
Yep.
He changed the game. He did. Let me read this out to you. A stat from him. No Arsenal player attempted more dribbles. Only Rice created more chances, and only Gabriel won more fouls than Max Dowman. He came on in the 74th minute.
Yep. Did you see, so Amy Lawrence, who writes The Athletic, in the post-match press conference, asked Arteta, what did you say to the substitutes coming on, particularly Max Dowman? And he said, I said it to Max, and I said it to Gyokeres, and I said it to Martinelli and all the others. I said, go and win the game. Just go and do it. Because she posed her question as if to say, did you give specific instruction, or did you say, go out there and just express yourself and play? Because everyone wants to know basically how much of a control he has on the team. And it may be behind the scenes that he is exerting a lot of control on the team, but the public face of it is Arteta basically said to them, go win the game, go take the moment, go seize the moment. And assuming that's true. It could be, what the message he's trying to put out there, at the very least. But love it, and he absolutely did. And like you say, it was interesting. We were all joking on the bus on the way home, sort of saying, because he got man of the match, but only came on at 74 minutes, and I popped up and went, "He's not even a man."
Yeah, that's the
He's
boy
16
of the
years
match.
old, the boy of the match,
Child of the match.
But he was exceptional, and like when the ball's at his feet, the bit that got me about his goal is the little two-step that he sort of does with the last defender. So the left foot puts it inside, and then the right foot immediately puts it away, and you've just got no chance. If you've mistimed that at all, he's gone, or you foul him.
Yeah, Arsblog's description of that this morning was excellent. I think who was that player that came across? Mikalenko was the first player. No, he was the first player that tried to rugby tackle him down, and he shrugged off that challenge.
I can't remember who it was. Dewsbury Hall.
It was Dewsbury Hall, yeah. And he looked like he'd been. It was like Platoon. He'd gone down like he was shot in Platoon because he knew what was going to happen.
Getting excited again.
Max Dowman makes very difficult things look very simple, and that goal was not straightforward. He made it look straightforward, but he had to avoid. Like the guy tried to rugby tackle him first, Mikalenko. Shrugged that off, and then the quick two-touch, like you say, to get him out, but using both feet, not favouring one over the other.
I don't know what foot he is.
He's left-footed, yeah.
Is he?
What I loved about it though was how far ahead he kicked the ball. It was just brilliant because we're so used to seeing such tight games, like the pace and no space, and here's this kid having a kick around in the park with his mates. He kicks the ball so far ahead, and just like kind of, I'm thinking, I'm screaming at him like, "Is this?" Because we can see, we're right, like looking down the barrel of that, and I can see the faces of the Everton players sprinting to get back, and I'm thinking he's going to catch him. I don't see Martinelli's intervention at all, only in the replay. And then you think, and Dowman does take a little glance, and he looks, and he scores it. And the thing that I like most about the goal, and it's the kind of. It tells me a lot about him as a player. He scored it as if it was no biggie. Like, he turned around and saw his entire team, coaching staff, players, sprinting towards the corner, onto the pitch, and then there was that click, that moment. He realised, he sensed the realisation of what he'd just done. And then he went.
He was going, "Oh my God, oh my God."
Yeah. It was like it was nothing to him.
The post.
He couldn't understand. He couldn't understand the magnitude of what he'd done. So he's got that much confidence and security in his own ability that what he'd just done there, the context, he'd sat in that ground, he'd seen the Yank detention build, he knew what was at stake, and yet he was. And it's only when he turned around and he saw everybody else, and then he disappeared into the crowd as well, which was lovely. But it was just like, it was so good. It was so good.
So on the magnitude of that, I just want to give a shout out. So hello, Chris, different Chris to our producer, Chris, my old friend, Chris. I used to coach his son football like many, many moons ago. We're talking at least 15 years, maybe more ago. And I randomly saw him at a game recently and sort of like reconnected, shared a few messages. And since then, like we've chatted Arsenal. He messaged me yesterday at 9:30 in the evening. He said, "That was amazing. Max made me cry. I haven't cried at a game for years. Put that in your podcast."
And here it is.
And here we are. So hello, Chris. I was just as emotional. It was a beautiful thing. And the roof came off at that moment. And what I loved about celebrating it was the time we had for it to build and to go.
Yes.
It reminded me of Martinelli's Christ the Redeemer celebration against Villa. There was another one.
Jesus against Man United.
Against Man United as well, when he sent Dalot into another dimension. Yeah, brilliant. And those bits where it builds and builds and builds, and it still hits a massively high peak, because normally it's a punch. Like I remember Martinelli's goal, the one that deflected against Man City last year, maybe the year before. That was a punch, because we weren't really expecting it, and the fact that it took a deflection, that caught everyone by surprise. Whereas yesterday, the way it built, and because of the relief and the joy that went along with it, was absolutely great. Just also want to give a shout out. Outside block 5, were a bit of a build up to the game. It probably wasn't as intense as we might have hoped. I think everyone was still a little bit nervy, but that's fine. It got going sort of towards the end. I saw a young lad called Luke who sort of stopped me and asked me about, said, are you from the podcast? So I just want to say hello to Luke. He told me he listens to on his way to school. So just to keep that theme going of
as does Max Dowman, I'm sure.
I'm hoping Max Dowman does. I did wonder if today, because it's Mother's Day, that a prior engagement meant he was maybe shuffling awkwardly behind his mum at a garden centre or something, out for lunch.
Can you imagine?
Having done that.
Apparently he still gets grounded if he steps out of line, which I think is hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it's. Arteta said afterwards that he loved two things. First, about the goal itself, it allowed us to build up into the enjoyment of it, like because you could see it level, and then he's clean through, and they all knew he was going to score because they've seen him play or seen him in training every week, every day. And he said it was a great moment, and he said it's like in 20 years' time, people will look back and say, I was there when he scored that goal. And he is the youngest Arsenal goal scorer, but the youngest goal scorer in Premier League history. The last goal, yes. James Vaughan, wasn't it? Was it 5 years before Max Dowman was born? That record has stood.
That's crazy. That's amazing.
Because he only turned 16 on the 31st of December, just gone. I do wonder, he's been injured. He was injured for 3 or 4 months. And I wonder, has that somehow, even that played into our... Because, look, without him, we are still in all 4 competitions and we're doing very, very well. Okay, give us a world-class striker, perhaps, and we've got a few more points on the board, perhaps. I mean, there's those arguments we can make. We can debate that till we're blue in the face. But, boy, did we need that fresh impetus yesterday.
Yeah. Now,
can you imagine the buzz next time he comes off the bench? If we're in another situation where, because I don't think he'll start, and I don't think he should start, but off the bench on 60 minutes, give him an extra 15 minutes.
I mean, he could have turned to 4-time Premier League winner Gabriel Jesus, but he didn't.
No. And not because of any sentimental rubbish, or
because he's really good.
It's because he believed that he could change the game.
Yeah.
And he did.
And he did.
I think Rory Talk said in a 15-20 minute cameo, he showed up the entire Arsenal attack this season. Yeah. That it's. I mean, I think Madueke has done it in spells, but maybe not in the Premier League. Saka's been okay, but he's for him, his standards are so high, he's fallen way below his standards, and I wouldn't be surprised to learn that he's been struggling with an injury. Again, throughout even though he's playing again, Gyokeres
is what he is.
Yeah, Ødegaard hasn't played much at all.
Injuries,
but has been effective when he has played because he's still like the 4th highest assister in the league, and he's played like a fraction of the minutes that the other players have played. Who am I missing out? Martinelli. Trossard probably is the only one who has, but not recently, but Trossard was the clutch player at the time that which really helped us get into the position that we're now holding on to. And I think Dowman could be that. We were all saying a few weeks ago, all we need is one of our attacking players to hit a rich vein of form. None of us thought it'd be the 16-year-old.
Imagine if it is.
Well, it started, hasn't it? The Mansfield game.
Yeah.
This yesterday, and I did not totally in jest remind you two of my pre-season prediction that Max Dowman will make it into the England squad. I mean, Max Dowman could oust Saka from the right-hand side.
Oh, behave. Shut up.
On form.
Anyway.
On form? Go go on. Anyway.
Well, I don't want any of them playing for England in a couple of weeks when it's the international break.
Oh, God, no.
That's going to kill me. Having to watch our players who are all knackered and slightly out of form, especially in an attacking sense. Imagine them going off to play for their countries. I mean, Martinelli's probably going to play for Brazil because Rodrigo's had his ACL injury, so he's going to be travelling around the world.
I did think Rice played a good game yesterday, but he got injured in like the first 5 minutes. And he was limping for quite a long time after that. We could see it. I don't know if you picked it up on the TV cameras, but we could see it. He was hobbling quite a bit. And then Indigo said at one point, my son, my daughter said at one point, look, he's still walking funny. I said, no, actually, that's just how he walks.
I think that's just him.
He just looks knackered constantly, and yet lung-busting runs till the 95th, 96th minute.
He's
and
like
it was nice
housework. I just sigh all the way through it. I'm doing it. That's just how I do it.
It was lovely to see him. It was like the mentor and the tutee, wasn't it? He was so thrilled for him. Did you see the Gyokeres celebration for his goal?
Yes.
Max Dowman nearly throttles him.
It's a wrestling move, wasn't it? I think maybe everyone's got so used to defenders grappling Gyokeres in that way that it's caught on with his teammates. In the thing as well, I mean, my favourite player in terms of celebration is Saliba. And there's a brilliant photo, I don't know who's took it, obviously an Arsenal fan in the stands, where there's this, it's like a rugby scrum or a maul, but then there's William Saliba's head just up in the middle going there with his tongue out and like eyes bulging as well. No one celebrates a goal like Saliba, and it's in such contrast to his normal like cool demeanour.
Yeah, he's got ice running through his veins, but he's a fan. He's a fan, so it makes a difference.
The only thing missing was a random child out the crowd who bumped into Arteta like the Reece Nelson one. That was insane.
I posed the question at the start, somewhat mischievously, but is it possible for us to win the league at the Etihad?
Right, come on then.
Right, so
tell me.
It's mathematically it's not possible, but we can get, but only on goal difference. Okay, so if City and Palace lose in Europe this week, and Palace are 1-0 down, I think, from their home game, and Man City are obviously 3-0 down. Their rearranged game could be played in one of the two following, the two midweeks where the Champions League games would be on, where the quarterfinals would be on. So if they were to play that, okay, there's a lot of ifs in this. If they were to play that, and if City were to lose to Palace and then lose away at Chelsea, because that's the other league game they've got, if we were then to beat Bournemouth, there would be a 15-point gap with 5 games to go. Oh, and we beat City. Sorry, then we actually beat City on the day. Then there'd be a 15-point lead with 5 games to go. So we couldn't technically sing the song because mathematically they could still catch us, but goal difference would be the clincher.
But I don't believe lose all our remaining games.
Yes, we would.
Yeah. I don't believe that will happen.
No, I also don't believe that we'll be 15 points clear after we play them at the Etihad either. But it's just someone did ask that question online, and I thought that's quite an interesting one. I was really surprised. I just assumed, well, of course there isn't. It's only in 2 games' time. But actually, if that Palace game is brought forward and they were to lose at home to Palace, they're not going to lose at home to Palace, are they? No. I know that you want to talk about this, and I absolutely think we should, because it is 100% cringe, 100% hilarious, 100% odd, baffling, bewildering. But would you like to chat about LinkedIn Liam?
Right, so you also asked the question, how many times have you watched the Max Dowman goal? And I have to admit, I'm going to hold my hands up. I think I've watched way more the weird Chelsea huddle at the start of the game that referee Paul Tierney stood in the middle of, like some kind of scene out of The Office or Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Looking at the camera. It is
looking
fantastic.
At the camera. It is peak awkwardness. And Cole Palmer looking at him as if to say, why are you there? Like, what
he
are
hugs
you doing?
him.
It is amazing because I've never... The things I like about football are things you've never seen before. We've never seen anyone as young as Max Dowman score a goal in the Premier League. That is a record. I've never seen anything like it. It's so odd. And the point is, I mean, I had a couple of people coming on our socials because I was pointing out just the ridiculousness of the whole thing. A few people are like losing their rag and sort of going, well, Chelsea shouldn't be doing it. And on the one hand, I mean, Arteta's done some things with the light bulbs and drawing the brain and the heart and all
not before the game.
This is a bit weird
on
because
the
I
pitch.
think what tinges it for me is it's this weird manosphere kind of alpha kind of I'm going to mark my territory kind of thing.
Protect the ball, respect the ball.
Respect the ball FC. And they're trying to do this mark the territory thing, which, okay, fine. I mean, and there's a lot of alpha crap in football that you get anyway.
They won the toss in our game and switched
their ends because we normally like to kick at the North Bank second. So they're looking for those psychological differences. Teams do that, no problem. It is weird. It is a bit cringe, but, you know, Arteta's done the odd thing, although less on the pitch. And in the middle of a game, one that's so public that people can see and then criticise. So for then the referee, well, people were coming back and going, yeah, but typically it's classic of the referees wanting to be the centre of attention. I'm like,
no, he was standing there.
No. He's kind of got to be there. He's refereeing it, and there is a factor about ball tampering and this, that, and the other. But although I think that's a little bit ridiculous, but I just think it's hilarious because it's so bizarre. Paul Tierney has gone up in my estimation after that.
Big time.
I don't like any of the referees bar one, and it is Paul Tierney for standing there and taking it on. It's so good. So then, go on. No, you go.
I was about to say, apparently he went into the changing rooms before the game, or he had a meeting before the game about this, and he said, I think it was Liam Rosenior's assistant he was talking to, and because Liam Rosenior is moaning about this after the game, complaining about it a lot, which is just brilliant because focus on the fact you lost the game.
Great deflection.
And it was. I saw the incident on Cole Palmer. That was never a penalty. He took a dive completely.
Yeah.
So the referee got that right, and he said, "Oh, Paul Tierney said." He mentioned straight away about the goalkeeper. Well, you complained about the goalkeeper in your half at the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
And he did. We all saw it. But then he tried to say, "Oh, Arsenal know exactly why I was complaining about that, and it wasn't because it was a goal." I'm like, yeah, right, sure. Because we haven't heard that before.
People are calling out his BS, and he's just going to keep trying to talk his way around it. He is full of it. I've never met anyone. I've never seen a manager come in so quickly, sound so ridiculous. That's what I don't get about it. It's so strange.
I don't know what it is. I mean, main character syndrome, but he's a manager of a Big Six Premier League club, so he has got.
He did well at Strasbourg, fine.
But it's just utterly bizarre. The Chelsea fans are like, I mean, he's lost them. He's lost the Chelsea fans because they are embarrassed by this. I mean, they've now lost two back-to-back games. They lost at PSG, which is fine. Anyone can lose against PSG.
Yeah, but it's the way they did it.
It was the manner in which they did it and the substitutions he made and when they were still in the game and so on. But to lose at home to Newcastle is a big thing because Man United have beaten Aston Villa today. I think they were 3-1 up last night. I checked with a few minutes to go. So Chelsea could be quite fortunate that Aston Villa seem to be dropping like a stone. But there's a real chance that Chelsea might struggle to qualify in the top 5 in the league, in which case he's out of a job. Like he can take his oddities with him. But I think he's lost. The Chelsea fans are embarrassed because there's no defending that. It's like I don't know what to say about it. And Paul Tierney told him he would be standing on the penalty spot.
Yeah.
The centre circle.
Yeah.
So they've huddled around him.
It's bizarre. It's just so ridiculous.
Just move. Every team does a huddle. Just move into your own half.
It will be easily my number one moment of the season. That's non-Arsenal, and it might even be up there of just one of my moments of the season. Someone 1.75 acres on Blue Sky came in and said he's going to use that as a meme now for anyone who puts themselves in an argument that for no reason, and it's just great because it's just hilarious. It's just bizarre, weird. The way he's tried to defend it. Yeah, my players just wanted to show respect to the ball. The hell are you talking about? Respect the ball, FC. And then you go and lose. That's the thing. Like, doing things behind the scenes. Like, Arteta's done some cringe things. He played the music in training.
But we only know that because of the documentary.
We know that because of the behind the scenes documentaries. Those are stuff to try and get in the player's psychology, but away from it. Match day, do your rituals. We do a huddle. Everyone does a huddle. Where do you do your huddle? Near your fans.
Yeah.
In your fans. They do it in the home bit of pitch.
And I'm sorry, but Arteta's attempts and efforts have borne fruition. We are mentality monsters this season. We're resilient. It's not easy, but the players have belief. Now, I know people might say, well, LinkedIn Liam's been there for, 5 days, whereas Arteta's had 5 years or whatever, but that was as someone, I don't know who it was on our Patreon, maybe Helen, I can't remember, said that they thought it was the picture.
Oh, it doesn't look real.
AI generated to begin with.
It just doesn't look real, does
it? It's actually real. Anyway, right, look, we've got another game coming up.
Boy, do we.
On Tuesday, 1-1 from the first game. Bayer Leverkusen, they drew 1-1 at home to Bayern Munich yesterday. So they've had as much rest as we'll have had. You might think 1-1 at home to Bayern Munich is a fantastic result. Doesn't quite tell the story. They scored after 6 minutes to go 1-0 up, but then Bayern Munich had a player sent off in the first half. Chelsea striker Jackson was sent off, and then
you can take the boy out of Chelsea.
Well, hey, yes, indeed. He probably still thinks he's at Chelsea. Another red card. And then they scored an equaliser. Luis Diaz scored an equaliser about 60, 64 minutes, something like that. But then he was subsequently sent off in the 82nd, 3rd minute, 4th minute, whatever it was. And the game ended 1-1. So they're still sitting in 6th place. And we will have learned nothing from that game, I'm sure. What's interesting from our perspective is we don't know anything about Timber's injury. It was a knock. It wasn't fatigue or anything. It wasn't muscular. It was a knock he took right in front of us. We could see that. He did try and play on for quite a bit, and hopefully he hasn't damaged himself too much in that process. What do you think? Or do you want to read through Chris's team selection? Or
so the
thoughts on
team
that?
He's gone with is Raya, Mosquera, Saliba, Gabriel, and Hincapie. So he's assuming that Timber might not be available. Midfield 2, Zubamendi and Rice with Eze as the number 10. And then he's gone a front 3, Saka, Havertz and Martinelli. Okay, which I agree with. I've got exactly the same defence and midfield. My front line is slightly different. I think the plan was for Havertz to start that game and come off after 60 minutes against Everton, and Gyokeres will start against Leverkusen. So my front 3, Saka will play along with Gyokeres. Now, what happens whether it's on the left? I'd love it to be Trossard.
He wasn't even on the bench.
I'd love it to be Trossard, so therefore I think he might go with Madueke again. Because he's okay. Just depends who he thinks can make more of an impact off the bench, and I think Martinelli might. I don't know. Yeah. So, probably Madueke.
I've got a similar approach to the front 3 as you there. Raya in goal. Now, I think the Timber injury came too early for Ben White to come on, which is a bit of a shame because, to give Ben White 20 minutes at the end of that game yesterday would have been good. And I think then he may well have started in this game on Tuesday. Yeah, but so it'll be Mosquera, Saliba, Gabriel. I've got Hincapie as well at the left back. Rice and Zubamendi in the middle, Eze in front. And I've gone for a front 3 of Saka, Gyokeres and Martinelli. And my notes are Havertz will start the cup final.
Okay.
And that's why he won't start on Tuesday. And I think 60 minutes, managing his minutes, 60 minutes, he got intense game against Everton yesterday. That's great. And he'll come on for the last 30 minutes on Tuesday and he'll be ready to start the game on Sunday, all being well. Because Mosquera played when Timber got injured, I think he'll play again on Tuesday. I'm glad Mosquera had a one little misplaced part. He over controlled it and they had a breakaway, but I don't recall any other mistakes that he made yesterday.
Fine,
yeah, and it was quite energetic going forward as well. I thought that was quite good. And because Trossard wasn't on the bench, I would have him starting if if he'd got 20 minutes yesterday, but not on the bench. I think Ødegaard and Trossard. What would you do? I mean, I think we need Ødegaard certainly on the bench against City on Sunday. But we just don't know how fit he is. His international manager indicated that he would more than likely be called up for international, so the injury wasn't too bad. Go on.
There is talk amongst the Man City fan base online that a lot of why Haaland's form has dropped off. 3 non-penalty goals in the second half of the season, drawn a blank in the last couple of games. They reckon he's maybe holding back because of the World Cup. Whether you can do that consciously or unconsciously, you're not going to do. Sorry, you're not going to do it consciously.
Yeah, maybe.
So it might be unconscious, and it makes me worry about then Ødegaard is the factor because Norway just don't qualify for that many tournaments. It could be a once in a generation thing for them. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, be mad if it was. Your club should come first, really.
I mean, you can understand that.
Oh, totally. I can understand it from a human point of view.
But he's on the precipice of an unprecedented season for his club
as
captain. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, you've got to factor that in as well. So I don't buy into it, but yeah, that's the talk amongst City.
Chris's scoreline.
He's got he has sent an apology. He says, "I think it will be tight, 1-0. Sorry, to the Arsenal."
Okay.
It should be
and
said.
you?
I've gone 2-0. Leverkusen, away from home. I hope it'll be comfortable.
I didn't, we didn't play well. We can play a lot better. I'm not sure how much better Leverkusen can play. I don't know. I've gone for 3-1.
Yeah. Chris has got the last 2 games bang on. Yeah.
No, did he get 2-0 Everton?
He got 2-0 Everton, and he got 1-1 Leverkusen. But look, at the end of the day as well,
we'll take it.
We've got to go through.
Yeah.
That's the key. So, yeah.
And so our next line of fixtures, got Leverkusen on Tuesday. This time next week, we'll be 7 minutes from kickoff in the League Cup final. I'm nervous already. And then we've got on the 4th of April, we're away at Southampton. That's a Saturday night, 8 o'clock kickoff, just for the fans. Champions League, you're going to the Southampton away, are you?
I hope to, certainly.
Okay, that's it. Then we've got Champions League quarter-final. No. Yeah, sorry. Quarter-final. If we get through, quarter-final. And then we've got Bournemouth at home, and then Champions League quarter-final, the home tie, and then we've got City away. And we finish off April with Newcastle at home.
Oof. If we get past Leverkusen, everyone talking about this easy draw nonsense, could be Bodo Glimt.
Well, it will be. They're 3-0 up.
Yeah. Plastic bloody pitch, Arctic Circle.
Won't be as cold.
As exciting as I am about the potential for a trip, which I might even just take, even if I can't get a ticket because it's such a small allocation, they're not going to be easy. That's going to be they're such a tricky tie.
If we get past Leverkusen, my hope is that...
forget all that. We'll talk about that. Yeah. Get past Leverkusen.
Right, I'm out. All my notes are used up. What have you got? Anything else?
Nothing. We're out.
Well, excellent.
Still buzzing.
And breathe and relax and enjoy.
Now let's go watch Liverpool play
Indeed,
Spurs.
we've timed it perfectly. We can go and watch Liverpool get 5 or 6 past Spurs. There are 3 teams on 29 points. Forest drew today, unfortunately. Not that I was hoping they would win, home to Fulham. So they're on 29 points as well. If Spurs lose by 8 goals, they go below Forest. And if they lose by 12 goals, they go into the bottom 3. But Liverpool are playing pretty poorly, so
I've just noticed, I know we shouldn't talk about this because everyone will know what's happened, but Salah's on the bench for the teenager, Ngumo, is that his name?
Rio, yeah.
Rio, yeah. Salah's on the bench, but interesting. So, there we go.
Right,
What a weekend. What a weekend.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I mean, we've had the last 2 game weeks, we've won and City have drawn. 2 more of those and we're there, because the next 2... We could lose to City and still win the league comfortably. We're getting to that level of a gap, which is great. Obviously, I think it's a do not lose game for us. It's a must win game for City. But I'd be quite happy to go there and draw. fine. Oh, I want my Overmars moment.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
My Dowman moment.
So long. 2015, I think. 2016, maybe. It's 10 years since we've won there. Shocking.
Great. Okay. Well, anyway, listen. Everybody enjoy the feeling that we've got now, and we'll take it into Tuesday's Champions League tie against Leverkusen. We'll be back for a very quick instant reaction after the Leverkusen game, and then I think Thursday we'll record a longer pod where we'll look back at Leverkusen and we'll look ahead to the Cup final next Sunday. Exciting times, guys. It's ridiculous. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have a great few days. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Gabriel.
The North Bank, an Arsenal podcast. Subscribe, rate and review on your app, and find us on your socials at North Bank Pod. Email hello@thenorthbankafc.com and check out our website, thenorthbankafc.com. Produced by the Podcast Company.